Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today on Forza Horizon 5 with some lucky dip racing. Now, the way this one is working, a little bit different to the previous ones. The cars are still drawn at random and auto-upgraded to the top of the class. For this first couple of races they've been auto-upgraded to the top of B class. However, we are doing off-road only races. So, slight tweak to the rule set in that the vehicles were first fitted with off-road race tyres, and you could convert them to all-wheel drive if you wished, which I think is an option pretty much all of us have taken. A couple of exceptions. Ollie's Dino is rear-wheel drive still. And then auto-upgraded after that. So the game will keep the car on the tyres and with the driveline that you've selected, but the rest of the upgrades are up to the game. I have been drawn a 944, which, I mean, it didn't have a huge amount of PI to play with. Basically, what I put the car on some off-road race tyres, I made it all-wheel drive, and then the game just threw power at it. After I'd done my bit, I've got standard brakes in this car, which I'm not really filled with a massive amount of confidence using, but we'll see how it all goes. Yeah, I am not amazingly confident, but you never know. We've got a Golf up ahead. The Dino is still in ghost mode, which is unusual. I'm going to try and cut underneath the Dino. Now, of course, I will have perhaps some traction on the Dino. The Dino is mid-engined, which is good. The Mazda, there's a Mazda 323 that I'm very concerned about. Know how good those cars are. Ollie is having a go for the lead. I was trying to cut underneath, but Liam appeared with a lot of speed in the Williams there that's going to make it 3 wide through the back chicane. That I don't know if I want to be a part of. Whoa, we got a lot of speed. We actually got a good run through there. Speedbeast cleared the lamppost out for us. We were able to sneak back past the Clio. We've actually got pretty good. That was a very cheeky manoeuvre by me. It's a little bit rude on Ollie. We had the overlap, but it was about a millimetre away from not. Unfortunately, Liam is going to have the run. I do feel like I'm very out of place in this group with my 944. We've got all of these tiny, lightweight cars. I mean, I know the Porsche isn't the heaviest thing in the world, but it is considerably heavier than these. Oh, it's going to die on the acceleration. Ollie's got a little bit of lag jitters going on with that Dino. I don't quite know where it is. Thankfully, it is kind of pinging in and out of ghost mode. At least that is something. We will try and keep the power down up this hill as best we can. It looks like the Firebird's battling away with the Mazda. It hasn't quite got as far up through the field as I was expecting, although it might have been slowed down in traffic. I mean, I know the 323 is very fast. However, the game doesn't necessarily build the cars well. So, like for example, the auto upgrade will not change the will not change the engine of a vehicle. So everything will be a stock engine. It won't even put a turbo or supercharger on it. Again, throw power parts. Quite a lot of these cars, I'm all right on my suspension. So quite a few of these cars have been put on like sport, even race suspension. The game left me on stock suspension, which, I mean, we get a bit of body roll, but we do also have a bit of ground clearance, so it kind of helps it a smidge. We're actually fairly competitive. I'm more competitive than I thought we might be in this car. That was so close to missing a checkpoint. But we are just a little bit too slow. We're kind of a little bit faster than the longbow train going on behind us, but I'm not as fast as the 3 tiny lightweights up at the front of the pack. I'm mostly hoping... I've not quite got the speed. I'm mostly hoping they fight each other and slow each other down, but I think they're going to be out of range. I had a particularly bad turn 1 there, which has definitely not helped my case at all. We will chuck it through there. As far as, so we're not allowed to tune the vehicles at all. The only thing we were allowed to do was change gear ratios, because a lot of these cars were being built with very wonky gear ratios. My car, for example, was limited to about 120, like gear limited to about 125 miles an hour, but there were some that were worse. I think the Golf was 112 and something was 110. So, yeah. That was the one bit we were allowed to change, just because some cars would be completely broken and useless. We are not catching at all here. We fought as valiantly as we could. The Clio Williams is, as expected, pretty strong around here. A little bit too much understeer going on. I mean, as far as dirt circuits go, so this is not the meanest of the off-road circuits. This is probably the most tarmacy one that we will go to today. It's a huge scrap It looks like a fun scrap behind. We're just kind of stuck with the I'm a spectator bit. Speedbeast has pulled clear now of the Dino. It's the 2 front-wheel drive hatchbacks that will have, I believe, will have been converted to all-wheel drive. As I said, it was allowed for anybody to go and do ahead of me. The Firebird we didn't actually expect to do particularly well. They're not the easiest things in the world to build at all on this game. So Lombo's car is actually doing surprisingly well. Impega's in a Crown Vic, which is not working. We wonder whether that might work, whether the game might have it work. The answer is no. Oh, Ollie's made a move up into second place on the dirt. We've not had a great lap, and Lombo has started catching us a little bit here. We've got to be careful. Can't afford a big mistake. We built a gap early on. We have still got a little bit of margin. It looks like the Ferrari might get itself into second here. Yeah, there was nothing more I could have really done around here, I don't think. Not been my greatest final lap. It was a little bit scruffy in places, but there's not enough speed in that car to get the top 3. Just couldn't do it. We'll cross the line in 4th. I mean, it could have been worse for me, actually. I did think the Porsche may struggle a little bit more. Didn't really have great pace here. In fact, if anything, I had the slowest lap of everybody. I did stay out of trouble. That's the only plus thing. I mean, it's close between a lot of cars, but that's concerning for race 2. We head to the Caldera Scramble for our second race. Now, this is a very different circuit. Of course, all dirt, a much more technical, a much smaller track. I'm not really holding out a huge amount of hope, if I'm honest, for the 944. I mean, we're definitely not a million miles away from everything, but we are unlikely to be carving our way through the pack, shall we say. It really doesn't look as if that's going to be possible. However, this is a different sort of challenge to the previous circuit, so maybe we will have something going for us. We've got 270 horsepower, which is alright. It's certainly not all that high. We have okay sized tyres, about 265s on this, something like that, which we know big tyres are good. It's a little bit heavy, perhaps, not as heavy as the Crown Vic, but yeah, it's definitely not the lightest vehicle. It is a pretty busy first lap we have going on here. Impega's battling away with Longbow. I was going to try and cut underneath something. I've just got 2 big American barges in front of me. I picked the wrong one to follow. God damn it. That's not what we wanted at all. The Golf leads the way at the moment. In fact, the field is still very, very compact after the first lap. Even second gear did not work there at all. That was not worth it. I just can't get past the... Oh, Blakey may have missed a checkpoint. If the Firebird and the Crown Vic stay side by side for too long, I am just not going to be able to get past either of them. And we're just going to be stuck. And even if I get past these two, and I've got the Magnum and a Daytona to overtake, which are even bigger. This is not going well for me. Well, it's a very fun race. I will say that. We've got a cutback here. And now we're going to try... hold on, Porsche, you can do it! Oh, I'll take it. That was a hold your breath and hope sort of a moment. But we've got it. We've got the pass. We can now, hopefully, run clear. And then we're going to find 2 more American boats to overtake. Right. Come on, 944. It actually feels a bit better here than it did at the first track. I think it suits it a little bit more on this one. The 944 definitely terrible on the... Not terrible, but definitely not as good on the tarmac as some of the other cars. When we get onto the dirt, we are pretty fast. The rear-wheel drive Dino struggling a little bit more on this fully off-road circuit, but the mid-engined nature of that car, and it's still holding on respectably, all things considered. We've got a good run through here. We'll get to the inside of the Magnum for the run up the hill here. Oh, we get a little kind of flick of oversteer. Magnum's got better straight line speed. The Charger's not very fast, actually, down the straight. Can we duck underneath? Nope, because there's going to be a Charger in the way. We've got to try and find... Oh, I should point out, it's Chris driving on Hyper's account in front, so it's going to get very confusing and I'm going to inevitably call the wrong person at some point. We've got way more speed through here. Oh, we had to kind of pry the door. The Crown Vic was starting to catch, which is why we were in a little bit of a hurry to get that done. Unfortunately, we are going to... I think we're going to have the grip to finish this move off through here. No, can't quite do it. May just sweep around the outside again. Yeah, we have got the momentum there to finally get the pass completed. The difficulty I've had, I mean, we've just been stuck in traffic. We've been stuck in big, boaty traffic, really boaty traffic for this, which has not been easy for the 944 to deal with. Around the outside, the Magnum is great, but it puts us on the inside, but I can't outrun it up the hill. That's the issue we've got. I mean, the best we could actually realistically hope for here is 7th, unless someone up ahead misses a checkpoint essentially on this final lap. But it's been a hell of a race. I actually really enjoyed this one. Sometimes the battle for 7th is more fun than just some of the other driving around on your own, basically. I do think this car is actually capable of a little bit better here. However, you know, what can you do at this stage? Can we get a 4th American boat around the outside there? No, just gonna shut the door, which is fair enough. I didn't have an overlap, so it was fair to do. What a race. That was great fun. I mean, we didn't make much progress forward. I feel like the car was a lot happier on that track. We ended up in 8th. We just fought some big American boats the whole way. Yeah, I mean, the lap time wasn't too bad. The Clio was fast. Again, clearly. There's a lot of vehicles around similar lap times. 48, I'm 48.0, 48.1, 1, 47.7, 48.1s and so on, apart from the Clio that was massively quick. Even that couldn't clear the traffic. There we go. Speed Beat takes victory with the Golf ahead of I think the Mazda and the Monaro rounded out the podium. Hey, that was that's one of the most fun I've had battling for 7th and 8th and 9th, etc. So we move up to A-Class. Of course, everyone was redrawn different vehicles. I actually got quite a good one for this. I have an Evo 8. There is Blakey with an Evo 10. I believe there are a couple of Subarus around the place as well. Maybe there's only one. Ollie's got a Subaru. There's some other things mixed in here, though, for good measure. There's a Ford Lightning, a Civic. There's also a Ferrari 360 Challenge and an LFA. Because, well, they also fit the criteria and were randomly drawn and assigned, etc. This has got 600 horsepower, this Evo, which is a lot. It doesn't really turn. Okay, we do not... Oh, God, the understeer. The understeer is on a lot. This thing it's a rocket ship in a straight line. But it does not have as much grip as I would have liked. Game, could you have given me more handling somehow? It'll probably be quite good for this track because this is quite a powery circuit in places. If we can pass the Ferrari, which I think just a simple cutback will do the job, just sheer power is going to get me past that. I love the 360 Challenge, is one of my all-time favourite Ferraris, but it's not going to outrun a 600 horsepower Evo because it has very little PI to play with and is not close to the level of power that we have got going on. I mean, also we're on dirt. The Evo suspension is going to be much better suited to this one. Really, can I chase down a Civic? Which I do believe has, in fact it is all-wheel drive converted because we would have passed it off the line if it was still front-wheel drive. It's all the yellow cars at the front, actually, going on at the moment. We have Gliska's Civic, my Evo, and Liam with a 968. Okay, no, that's fine. We're fine through there. Did not know how much I was going to have to lift and go. Like, this thing is so quick down the straights. It is a handful in the corners. I've just got to really make sure I get it stopped. We might be able to go for a cutback on Gliska here. No, Civic can carry quite a good amount of corner speed. We've just got so much straight line speed here. Might not even matter. I'm not going to go for the narrow bit of the water just because I don't trust my car's level of control. I think we're so fast down the straights it doesn't matter. Civic's going to look to be brave around the outside. It's got the grip. I am jealous of the amount of grip that Civic's got. I don't know how Forza's built, but I know how the Forza's built this car. It's just chucked power at it again. It's decided I needed power. I mean, it's not, like, don't get me wrong, it's not bad handling. It's just not as good handling as the Honda. Or as good handling as the 944 I had last race. Hey, we are through. It is much faster, though. Oh, hello. That's a wall there. Panic and bail. Where's Gliska? That Civic may well wants to fire up the inside through here. It might get it. We will just punch off the corner so quickly. I'm expecting there to be a Civic. I left a Civic-sized gap. Oh, Gliska may have missed a checkpoint or had a controller turn off. Gliska did miss a checkpoint, I think, trying to get underneath. That is unfortunate because that Civic was looking good. Right, we have got the lead of the race. It's Liam we have to worry about now with the 968. I think we could be a right nightmare to overtake because we aren't very good in these corners, but we're so fast accelerating that even if Liam gets alongside, we'll just be gone by the next corner. We can possibly defend, but it does of course rely on me not making any mistakes with this car. We will get that slowed, but preferably not locked up in the braking zone. That's not ideal. So who have we got? Ollie is in third. They are in. They're in the Subaru. So that's kind of along similar lines to me. I can't take my eyes off the track for too long to have a look at where Blakey are. Blakey's not had a great race, unfortunately, with the second of the Evos. We're going to get slowed for this part of the course. Oh, careful now, Evo. Don't get carried away. I know we can probably beat a lot of cars, like just from here to the line, we could probably beat a lot of cars if needed. But I don't want to put myself in that position. There's no reason to be risking it quite that much if we can avoid it. Yeah, I mean, the gap we pull from the start-finish line through this section, I mean, we lose it almost immediately when we get into this twisty section. I didn't realise the 968 so good. Of course, these cars are auto-upgraded, so Forza is not building them in the same way that I would, for example, or anyone else would. But with the build, the 968 is quite grippy. It's quite fast in these corners compared to this lunatic of a power machine. I actually don't know what Speed Beast has got in this. The Ferrari still sat in fourth. That's what they were trying. That's quite impressive, actually. I wasn't expecting that, especially not around here, to kind of cling on as nicely. Liam has lost the... Ooh, that's got a bit bumpy. Liam has lost that second place. Didn't quite see what happened back there for the 968, although they both lost quite a lot of time, so not sure. They might have tangled a little bit. We've just got to get through this final section, and then it is one more lap to go for the Evo. Ooh, that was poor. Right. I mean, it's the age-old rivalry of Evo versus Impreza. We have got quite a big lead, though, in this battle, so to speak. How is Longbow doing with that LFA? It is the one car that was PI dropped. It's struggling. We did fear it might. So it is technically an S1 class car, but when you put it on the off-road race tyres, it drops the PI, so it does technically get into A class. However, you don't really get any upgrades on that, and it's struggling a little bit against, well, things like this. Unfortunately, it's a shame. As I said, it's a shame, but then you do have cars like the 360 Challenge actually holding its own quite nicely. We are pulling clear. I think the Subaru's not that far away from me in terms of lap time, but we are definitely with a nice margin. So I don't really want to do anything stupid. I mean, you don't want to slow down too much and fall out of your rhythm. I'm terrible for if you try and like just consolidate a lead. I make silly mistakes or I slow down way too much, which is why I tend to just drive flat out until the end. It does mean sometimes, though, on the final lap of the race, you have a big lead and you still do something stupid. But yeah, it's always easier for me to just keep up the momentum, although yeah, you do sometimes make mistakes. Either way, it is a victory! That's a phenomenally fast Evo. We will claim victory. Do we get fastest lap of the race? Oh, Ollie beat us just! Oh, god damn it! We were in a class of our own there. Jeez, those two are fast. As Blakey was quick as well, which makes me think that missed a checkpoint somewhere. It's a 15.6 for that one. Yeah. Those were quite bloody fast. I like my Evo. Very much like my Evo. Gliska was unlucky. We were having a good race. A shame. Shame about a slightly missed checkpoint. We are off to the Baja Scramble for our final race. I did think I was going to be a long way back on the grid, and I certainly am. It's actually been quite fair in that it's put me and Ollie all the way at the back that are probably the two most fearsome cars in this one. Gliska also with the Quick Civic is down in 8th, so yeah, this is hopefully going to be an interesting race. We're going to have to carve our way through the pack. Let's see what this mighty Evo can do. We know we've got lots of straight line speed, so the acceleration is going to be good. The handling is a little bit more on the iffy side. We shall see what we can get away with. I mean, we're going to try and make the most of ghost mode. You know, get as many positions as we can before it gets considerably more tricky. Right, oh, the Subaru's having a look. Oh, are we still in ghost mode? I hope so. Yes, we're being very cheeky with it. Now we're out of it. Right, so the Subaru definitely handles better than we do. Oh, well, I did want to avoid the puddle. I didn't quite mean to avoid it that much, but it worked either way. The yellow car brigade is on the charge. The 968 is here as well, and we're just... This thing is so fast in a straight line. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's fantastic all at once. Oh, don't think Peggy knew until the last second I was there. The F-Type is, let's face it, not going to be the easiest thing in the world to drive in these conditions. Compared to... I mean, goodbye, everybody. Thank you. I will take the lead of the race. It's taken us a lap to go from pretty much the back of the field to the front, and the Subaru's coming with us. We've just made mincemeat of everybody. The second we get to an acceleration zone, this is clearly one of the more difficult to drive cars handling-wise, but it's just an absolute rocket ship. We've got 3 cars on the exit of that hairpin. The Subaru is my biggest concern. We know it outhandles us in the technical stuff, but I'm hoping we can continue to just blitz it in terms of straight line speed. And the Subaru is stuck in the traffic, which is never the easiest place to be, as we saw at the Caldera circuit. When you get stuck in traffic for a long period of time, you can lose a lot. You can lose a lot of lap time, and it can cost you a lot of positions. In fact, Ollie is still stuck in the traffic. And Pega's got the F-Type running in second ahead of that Porsche. So, yeah, that's a lot of understeer for me through there. Come on, Evo. Still lots and lots and lots of understeer. And then power down, and we will be off. Oh, God, yeah. Ollie's really ensnared in that. The M5's fighting back as well. Don't get me wrong, I love the M5. I've never managed to make it really work in... I love the M5. I've never owned one from what I've heard about them, but I've never really managed to make it work in Horizon. However, the Forza built one in this Forza built race. It's not doing too badly. We will just launch the Evo across there. Lands pretty well. I can't remember what suspension the game put this car on. I think it's Sport, which isn't the best in the world, but I guess it's not the worst either. We'll try and use the banking to help get us turned through there. And again, down here. Ollie is up into third now with that Subaru, although it's a very big fight currently going on behind. Oh, well, we drifted a little bit too wide that time. I can get a minute to look back, we will, to try and see what is going on. It's definitely changing a lot in that group. Impega is visiting a wall. Probably wished I wasn't looking back at that particular moment. And that has... I mean, Impega actually done really well to hold on with that F-Type. It's really not the sort of car that was expected to do well. So, yeah, it's held in that lead group. And it's still there as well. It lost out to Liam. But, yeah, it's still there fighting with Ollie. When it's on a twisty track, I think that Impreza stands a chance against me. When it's on a track like this, I don't think it really does. I think if it was as close to me in speed as it was that first track, it would have cleared all of those cars by now. It would have found a way. You can get slowed in traffic, but you do cut your way. Like, you might not be able to win a race, but you do generally carve your way through a field a little bit. It might just be that the Subaru's all its speed's in the corner and it's not quite able to access it in this traffic as much. But yeah, it's still in the fight. We're said as a spectator. I mean, it's how it goes sometimes. It's been a while since I've had a car this fast in one of these. Oh dear, and I'm now being an idiot. But yeah. It's this fast that I'm not even really paying any attention to what I'm doing driving-wise. I'd say, shall we try and go for the fastest lap of the race on the final lap? That's probably when I'll make a stupid mistake. Come on, Evo. sort yourself out. A little bit of understeer on the way in. That's fine. Just put your power down on the exit. Impega has now dropped to 4th, which I think is still a good showing from the effort. Interestingly, Blakey's still struggling with that Evo 10, which is unfortunate for the Evo. It might have been a missed checkpoint again, but just looking where the car is on the map, I think that would have more pace. In fact, Longbow's got the LFA working well. Hold on, that's what I was just going to go and have a look for, is where is Longbow's LFA? How is that doing here? And that is doing surprisingly well. Liam and Ollie are swapping positions a lot up there. Battle for second rages on. But that will certainly have helped me to an extent here. There is going to be time lost when they're starting to fight like that. We will jump for the water section, run it into there without really going on the brakes. I do love that corner when you get it right. When you get it right, you've got a car with enough grip that you can get away without really braking. You just kind of downshift. And that wasn't my cat meowing, by the way. That's Blakey's car horn. Just because it sounds quite a lot like Eve. That one. It was actually Blakey. We will get out of the final corner. Looks like Liam might hold on to second in this one. This Evo has been staggeringly good for this. Thank you very much, Lucky Dip car, and a well-built Forza car as well. The Evo claims a comfortable victory in the end. That was unbelievably good on the first lap. It just left Yeah, okay. The LFA was the only one within almost a second and a half at that point. Crap, after such close lap times in the first race, that's a damn good car. I'm really impressed with the LFA, actually. I think the the Evo being quick, not a surprise. The LFA being second fastest at that track, though, that is very impressive. I've got to say, bloody hell, that's probably the best Lucky Dip car I've ever had. That Evo was staggeringly good for this one. The Porsche, I had some very fun races with the Porsche. It wasn't great, but we did have some fun races. I always like the Lucky Dip stuff. It is great fun. I'll put a link to the website I use to randomly draw the cars. It's Kudos Prime. And yeah, you can just randomly select vehicles. And yeah, seeing what Forza does with the builds is always curious. Turns out it's just built a really good car here for me. But there we go. That is going to be it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching. And until next time, a goodbye.